celebrating the power of possibility. Pilot Flying J and Halloran Hilton Hill present Anything is Possible. Today's guest, Doug Minter, Part 2.
Welcome to Anything is Possible. I'm Halloran Hilton Hill, and thanks for letting us hang out with you today. These are great stories about possibility. This is Doug Minter, and we're in the middle of his story. If you missed episode 1 of this, you can go on YouTube anytime and just type in AIP. The name of the show is Anything is Possible. So AIP online, put that in the search box, and then you can find all the shows there. And this is Doug Minter. And so we're talking about your dad. This is actually a reproduction of the original concept, and you don't have to zoom in on this, but this is the original concept for the sun sphere. And it was your dad that came up with that idea. He was only recognized for that idea a couple of years ago. So you were talking about the fact that you had this phenomenal dad. You have this phenomenal dad. He's at the farm, right? But watching him go through the ups and downs of politics when he wanted to give back had a certain effect on you.
Absolutely.
Right? And so we were talking about how that affected you, and I wanted to, so you got the entrepreneurial bug. I guess you started a valet parking service. I knew you in the insurance industry. You're working for the chamber now, but somewhere in the middle of that, after you finish UT, you become a Marine and you go off to war. What did that do to you?
I think it taught me that mentally and physically, I was tougher than I thought I was. It helped me really, really understand how to be a leader amongst other people and how to be a leader out of service. You know, people think in the military that you become a leader just because you're demonstrative and you're authoritative, but really it's about the ability to serve everybody's needs. You know, once you become a squad leader or a platoon leader or anything of that type, your first obligation is the lives of the people underneath you.
So you learned that there.
Yeah, you have to learn that. It's about protecting your guys. And there were always those leaders. I mean, I look at all of the gentlemen, and I call them gentlemen because they were gentle men. Folks that I fought with at Delta 4 here in Knoxville, they were and many of them, Gunny Hudson, and I mean, all of them, you know, Sergeant Tucker. These cats, I will go through hell and high water with. I'd die for them right now because of their leadership, and seeing leaders that you're willing to die for, not work for, not do a project with, to die for. And not some naive, patriotic, national pride type of thing. I'm gonna die for you because you're just that good for me. You're just that good to me. You're such a man of character that if I have to die, why not die for a man like that?
But it really is coming back to your dad.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like being in the Marines and fighting. You figured out 2 things. One, politics is crazy. People are not tenaciously loyal, that they aren't people of their words, and that can be disappointing. But then you ran into a whole set of people who are essentially in character like your dad.
Every day.
And that's what you need. That's what you need to know who you are. And as a man, it's your greatest challenge, because that's what you need to be who you are. Right. And if you fall short of that, it just bugs the crap out of you.
Yeah, and I think, you know, a lot of times when we look at the urban community, and specifically the inner city, people say, well, we need more fathers. You know, what are the fathers doing? What are the parents doing? And I'm gonna challenge people on that. It's true. It's absolutely 100% true that fathers need to be in their position. because it don't work without them being in position. But my dad knew his flaws, right? As much as I love him and as much as I admire and just am in awe of him every day, he understood there's only so much he can give me. Even with that, even with the Sun Sphere, even with hanging out with Bill Clinton and all the people that he associated with, there were still things about his fatherhood that he couldn't teach me. So he put me around so many other people to make sure that I got it. And I'm hard-headed and stubborn, so I needed multiple people. And so I say that to say that's why mentorship is so important. And it's fathership instead of mentorship.
All right, so let's take a pause here. When we come back, here's the answer that I'd like after this break. Are you going to run for office? And if so, what office? And what do your sons, what do you want them to say about you? We'll be back. This is Anything is Possible.
Possibility powered by Pilot Flying J, Covenant Health, Home Federal, and the Knoxville News Sentinel. Coming up.
I think ultimately the experiences that I've been blessed to receive have to be given back to everyone else. I can't just hold God's blessings just to myself and my family.
Anything is Possible is a place of possibility. My name is Halloran Hilton Hill. These are great stories, great people whose lives prove that anything is possible, and I'm talking to Doug Minter. So we were talking about what war taught you, and it taught you to have something to live for and worth dying for, and to be that kind of person, right? So now, are you going to run for office?
No.
That's not the way you said it during the break.
Look, here's
you
the
didn't say no.
philosophy.
You said
Watching my father, I know who I am and what I am. I'm a kingmaker. I'm not a king. And in my book, kingmakers live longer.
Are you going to run for office?
No.
Are you going to run for office?
No. I'm having too much fun being a kingmaker.
Are you just being stubborn?
Possibly, but I'm not running.
How do you know that you're not going to run for office?
Because I love serving in the capacity of
I
entrepreneurship.
don't believe you. I don't believe you at all. That sounds like the most political, nice answer, because I believe that you have a special calling on your life, right?
Right.
And there's an urgency. We've talked in the last few weeks, and there's been an urgency about you to do something to affect change and to make life better for people. And it keeps you up at night. It wakes you up in the morning. You eat it, sleep it, drink it, and you're over at the chamber doing a great job, but you keep looking for answers. And your father has given you a mantle, and you're fighting that thing. And no is a very convenient answer, but every time you say no, it looks like to me that you're fighting your own answer.
I'm enjoying what I'm doing, and I'm so happy doing what I'm doing right now.
Doug,
I love
so you feel
this place.
you feel authentic in that answer.
Absolutely.
You don't believe that you were called to public service in that way, in elected office.
No.
All right, what do you want to do then?
I want to go back
What's
to
your life
writing.
about?
I think ultimately the experiences that I've been blessed to receive have to be given back to everyone else. I can't just hold God's blessings just to myself and my family. First, I got to take care of, my sons and be the best father I can be.
Tell me about your sons.
Oh man, Malik and Phillips. That's my dudes. That's just my dudes.
What do you want for them?
I want them to start dreaming. I want them to get out of the materialism that we probably spoiled him. His mom and I probably spoiled him a little bit too much, but they're great kids. They each have their little ways. Malik is my geek. He loves IT and software, and he'll text me when the next iOS update is available, and I love his spirit, and he has much of the skill sets that follow with our family. Tenaciously loyal. He's never disloyal. Very honest, very dutiful. He's great with his money, better than I am. Good kid. And Phillips he's 14 and he's finding himself. And great. We call him the animal whisperer because he gets the animals at the farm to respond in ways that none of us can. And they don't fear him and he doesn't fear them.
I asked Todd Howell to do something when he was sitting in that same chair. I talked about how King David kind of spoke a blessing over the life of Solomon. Kings would often do that. You said you're a kingmaker. You've got these two young princes here. Speak to them right now, by name. What do you want for each of them? What do you speak over their lives?
Malik, I speak over your life the wonderment of creating. He's so friggin' smart. And I want you to be that person that creates things that help other people. Create that next thing. He's got it. And I want him to create that. Phillips, find a way that people can have your attitude. He has a reset button that his mother and I are still amazed by. He never brings baggage from the previous day into the next day. He wakes up clean and fresh every day. It's a new adventure. Yesterday's gone. I want him to find that way to teach others how to do that.
What do you speak over your own life?
Follow through. Follow through.
What do you think your calling and your mission is? What are you supposed to follow?
I have to write what's in my heart.
So you want to go back to writing?
I got to.
Is that books? Is that?
I think it's books, speaking. I think I have to write what's in my heart, and the only things that are in my heart are the things I've experienced. The military, the perspective of being African American, entrepreneurship. I have to write those words. The importance of diversity, the importance of the real return on investment of inclusion that we seem to have missed out on and don't understand, but it's value.
All right, so before we get further, because I want you to give us a master class on possibility, what you've learned through your career that helps people to succeed, win, and have possibility. But let me get some first sentences from you, right? So let's start writing your book now, right? Let's write the chapter on the military, and the opening sentence is?
You must learn how to serve others.
Love it. Let's move on to your experience being a black man in America. The first sentence is? Wait a minute. Did you notice the difference between that chapter and that chapter? Did you see what you just did?
Yes, I have to inhale.
Did you see how big it was? Did you see how big the movement was?
Yes.
I got to know what that is, because we got to that and you literally said, like you were bracing for impact almost. Like you were.
How can I not? When we create the impact of African Americans in the United States, has never, no group of people have ever impacted a nation the way we have here, in the style, in the creativity, the pure impact is so huge. But so too is the misguided way we were treated. So I have to inhale and digest what that means.
What were you inhaling?
The memories, the production, the people, the sacrifice. How can you not inhale 400 years of slavery? How do you not inhale the Middle Passage? How do you not inhale the whole continent of Africa to explain your answer? There's a lot to inhale.
And I'm thinking about, we came out of the question about the military. We have to learn to serve. You love this country. But when we got to your experience, you had to take a breath.
Absolutely.
And I guess then the next chapter would be entitled, We're Gonna Be All Right.
We're gonna be all right.
All right, let's take a break. When we come back, we'll wrap this up, because I want you to give me a master class on what you've learned about life and success. And let me and Malik and Phillips sit at your feet. You're gonna paint us a roadmap for success and possibility when we come back. I'll let you catch your breath. This is Anything is Possible. We'll be back.
Coming up,
I love finishing. I'm getting turned on by finishing, and that's probably why I don't want to run for politics. They don't finish nothing.
Welcome back to Anything is Possible. I've been enjoying the possibility story of Doug Mentor. So we were just during the break, we were just talking about that breath you took, and you were saying, which part of me do you want? You feel things very deeply, and you feel like you're being called back to write and to speak and to tell a story, but also to write a new story for America. And I've asked you 10 times, like, are you running for office? Nope, 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 nope. After you finish this book, you're gonna run for something. Watch. Anyway. And if you do, you know the first person that's gonna call, hey, Doug, we're gonna be all right. Anyway, do a master class for us. What have you learned about success in life? And imagine me, I'm sitting here, and Malik is here, and Phillips. Teach us the ropes.
I will answer the political question real quickly.
Yes.
If I ever ran for office, I tell you what intrigues me is Parliament in Canada.
Really?
Justin Trudeau is amazing, and we have yet to see his brilliance, and so he's one of the encouraging leaders of the day, right?
Wow, all right.
And he's interesting to me.
Right.
Okay, so they don't have term limits.
Right.
So, a preacher, really good friend of mine, taught me this some time ago, and it's wonderful, and it's the 3 C's, and I've used it time and time again. It's clarity, clearance, and completion. So clarity, you got to get self-aware. If you're lost, you got to get found. You got to know what direction, what are your coordinates. You got to have some situational awareness, right?
Right.
You got to have that sit rep report, as we say in the military, right? So once you get clarity, then you got to get clearance. And clearance is where you got to understand the process. What's the framework around how I'm going to get from A to B? Are we taking a car? Are we taking a bus? Are we taking a plane? I know we're going on a trip, but how are we going to get there? What's the mechanism? What's the process? And one of the things that God has really challenged me over the past couple of 2 or 3 years is you got to get your process down pat. Your procedures, your compliance. And then last, you know where you want to go. You know the mechanism of how to get there, right? But you got to complete it. You got to fill out that form. Nothing changes till you fill the form in.
Right.
Till you follow that process, and you got to complete it. The completion is where that tenaciousness is. The completion is where I don't want to do this today. I don't want to write 3 more pages. I don't want to read 18 more books, but you do it anyway. That's the piece.
And that has been a common theme as we've, tried to acquire wisdom from a lot of people that have been in that chair. They've spoken to that, and maybe that is this gap you've seen that you sense between your father's life and the value that he added and created, and yours is you got a few things you want to complete.
I have been. That is the thing that keeps me up at night. Is starting and not completing. Is having so many dreams and so many ideas, and you got to complete them.
Right.
And so, much of the joy I get right now is just completing stuff.
Just finishing.
I love finishing. I'm getting turned on by finishing, and that's probably why I don't want to run for politics. They don't finish nothing. They keep kicking the can until, Black Lives Matter shows up. We keep kicking the can until unemployment gets to be 26%. We keep kicking the can. I don't like that.
You want to get it done.
I want to complete something. Let's start it and finish it.
Yeah.
That's me.
That's you. Doug, thanks for coming by today.
It's been an honor, man.
Yeah, and
you're a good friend. Thank you.
Thank you. God bless you. We'll see you next time on Anything is Possible.